band play.
100K on the protection, living life with no regrets. Designer when I get dressed. Summertime I wear the fresh. Put a leg behind her head. Night she gonna bed. Bye-bye. Every day it's a new test. I just keep chasing these chicks. Living life with no regrets. Living life with no regrets.
Awesome. Well, welcome back to the next episode of Sled Talk. This is episode 15, and we're back with another virtual podcast. And today's guest is Nick Pahno. Is that correct, Nick?
Yeah, that's it.
And Nick is hailing all the way up from Alaska. So that's super exciting to have you on here. Nick just sent you a message back and forth DMs last night and was able to set this up today. So I appreciate you coming on the show, dude.
Oh yeah, man. Stoked to be here. Let's do it.
Sick. So Nick, let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and jam on the personal side of things, right? So let's do a little bit of an introduction to, who you are, where you're from, the things that you do, like for work and whatnot, and any kind of personal stuff you want to jam on.
Yeah, dude. I'm from South Central Alaska, Seward. I went to school here. This is where I ride out of mostly. I've done a lot of commercial fishing growing up and construction, a lot of blue collar work, stuff that pays good. Sled costs a lot of money, you know what I'm saying?
It does. 100%.
But no, I mean, not much to hit there. I just I bust my ass all summer, really like 7 months, and then I take a lot of time off in the winter and usually just blow the wad. I spend it all until March, April, June, and then start working again.
There you go. Nice.
For real.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing a little bit about yourself there. Let's talk about the main topic, sledding, snowmobiling, right? So Nick, tell us, when was the first time that you've ever been on a sled?
So I moved up here when I was 3. And my dad had a couple 380s lying around, a couple Skadoo 380s. So I was jamming on those hard when I was little.
Oh, boy.
Riding double up, triple up, dogging the sleds around the lake, all that.
Oh, yeah.
And then I really started getting into it. I got an Axis 600. That's when I really started getting into it. It was about 15, 16. Decided, I'd really like, jumping them and shit like that.
Yeah, huh?
But, yeah,
How old are you now?
I'm 23. Yeah, 23. I just turned 23
okay.
here in January.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the current sled setup that you're on right now?
I got a 2022 Skadoo Expert Turbo. It's got the 154.
Oh boy.
And then we can get into the build a little bit if you want, or
100%.
I don't know where you want to go with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's we'll talk about the everything, all the mods and the build, everything that you've got on it, because it's a Jeff and I.
Let's do that a little bit
earlier. Whoa, there you go.
My bad.
No, you're good. I do want to ask you first off, why, just your personal preference as to why Skadoo versus a Polaris or Arctic Cat or anything else.
Oh boy. Like I said, I was on the Axis platform,
right?
And that's a great platform. It is. It's a super good platform. But here in Alaska, you got to have reliability, and I've never had an issue with my Skadoo, and I put those things put it through mad abuse, a serious amount of abuse. Yeah, and I just tend to have super good luck with that. Okay. And the turbo, it's running even cleaner than my naturally aspirated was. It's running even better than that was. So,
nice.
I'm thinking. I mean, so far I'd like to snow check another one, but we'll see. Yep. I'll kind of hold off maybe a little bit until Polaris and stuff drops everything they got going on.
Yeah. So at the date that we're actually filming this is obviously not the same day that it's going to be released. So, but as we're filming this, it was
a lot of stuff's going on right now.
So literally, totally. So literally yesterday, Skadoo just came out with their 2023s, and so let's go into that a little bit and kind of get your overall reaction since you're such a big Skadoo fan. Like, how do you feel about everything that they just released.
No, I love it. I mean, I love everything they got going on. You know, we're getting toasted a little bit about the looks, you know, the goofy looking headlights or whatever. But
Oh
I'm
my
stoked
gosh.
about the horsepower because I ride at such a low altitude here, South Central. I'm riding at like, you know, 2, 3, 4,000 feet most of the time.
Oh,
Like
wow.
all, you know. So yeah, exactly. So that 180, that's a big deal for me because I'm not, you know, there's
Huge.
not so much difference between a naturally aspirated sled down here. So,
Gotcha.
you know, I'm pumped. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the links, I mean, that it looked good too. I wish we had the 146 turbo over here, but we don't. But you
Okay.
know, stoked on that end too. Yeah. I mean,
Gotcha.
kind of across the board. I thought it was a sick release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, you know, obviously I'm a Polaris guy, but I will admit that I was impressed with some of the things that they came out with. Looks to be a lot lighter as well. And
Yeah.
that new engine. They changed quite a few things, but I will say it has been pretty funny. You know, I spend quite a bit of time on social, just engaging and whatnot, looking at everything going on. And boy, Skadoo is getting ripped right now with the Ninja Turtle memes. Those headlights,
Oh, God,
they're
dude,
funky
yeah.
looking, dude. It's a bit
The
odd.
Monsters Inc. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, who knows? I mean, it's definitely different. You know, it definitely looks different.
Yeah, it's
Right.
it's interesting. And so then Polaris just released that they released a little clip today that they're coming out with their stuff on the 28th. So it'll be interesting to see what they have in store.
Yeah, I was
as well.
surprised they're gonna launch that on the 28th. I saw that there's like a little teaser, and it sounds like
Yeah,
I don't know. It's something mean. It's something really
Yeah.
mean. You know, it's
Yeah, I
got
don't
its
know.
sauce and it's stock. Yeah,
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. We'll see what it is. It's always an exciting time. Something that is kind of interesting though is, you know, I don't know what it's like up there in Alaska for you guys, but you know, I know several people that still have not gotten their 2022 snow checks, and Polaris is already coming out with the 2023. Like, it's going to be interesting how that all plays into effect for people.
Yeah,
People
I
are gonna be
mean,
pretty
you
upset.
always see people commenting on the release stuff. You know, like that haven't got their stuff yet. You know,
Oh yeah,
I just
Yeah.
I'm blessed to have a good dealer. You know, as one of my sponsors. You know,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's a big deal for us here is getting our
Sure.
sleds. And yeah, I have buddies that weren't getting their sleds until February, and all of our
Right.
good powder days is like late December, January is when those like 30, 40 inch 2 days happen, you know, and you're just sinking those things.
Jeez.
So
Oh my gosh, I wish
it's
I
a
knew
big
what that
deal.
was
You
like
don't
down
want to
here.
miss, you know, yeah, well, you know what yeah, you don't want to miss 2 weeks of just you know, that might be the only 2 weeks of the year that it's not
Exactly.
raining or, you know, yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And
The
it's
conditions are good.
And as sledders, I mean, it's you probably have a pretty decent season in Alaska, but you know, as sledders, our season is already so short as it is, right? And so when something does happen like that, you get 40 inches in 2 days. That's, you know, and you miss it. It's pretty disheartening, you know, because we go all year just to be able to ride for a few months or whatever it may be, depending on your location, obviously. But yeah, so that's pretty brutal to be in a situation where you're missing something like that for sure.
Dude, especially, I mean, I live for those deep powder days, you know, just, I mean, there's plenty
We
of
all
spring
do.
days to be had and stuff, but there's
Sure.
nothing there's nothing like those. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crucial to have the sled,
Yeah.
you know, and that
100%.
was a big thing for me when you're building them, you know, you got a bunch of stuff to get on it and, you know, you want to you got to tear apart the skid, you got to do suspension, you want to get it in like October
Right.
and like, you
Yeah.
know,
This
be able
stuff
to
takes some
prepare some
time to-
videos. I mean, you know how it is. You got to shoot, you know, you want to be able to shoot some stuff and
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. No,
it
it's
was like
it's a
get
process.
yeah, got the sled like a day late, you know, and then it's like don't have any of the gear on it. You just ride it bone stock because the
Yeah.
snow's so good that day. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
piece it together at night, you know,
Yeah.
get one thing on, you know, get the track on, and then get, you know, the bumper on, and then
Yeah.
it's just hectic.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you're going into a good point, and a good topic here. So let's just go ahead and dive into that a little bit deeper. You're mentioning some of the things that you've done to your sled. So I guess take us through everything that you have put into your sled build so far this year.
So, like, first off, I'm a big like bone stock guy. Like, I want because with the sleds we have nowadays, it's like, you know, pick the one that's going to be out of the package closest to what you're looking for. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And that's why I went with the Expert. You know, with the turbo. It's
Sure.
but so First off, I get the bar setup dialed. You know, that's like number one, I think, for sure.
Okay.
Your height, how long your arms are, all that. And I do the Cheetah Factory Racing. I've been repping a 2-inch bar, like a 2-inch rise on my bars, and the bars are like an 1.5-inch rise. So it was a total of 3.5,
Sure.
which is super low compared to most people. Like a lot of people are running at least 4s on their risers and stuff. But
Right.
I've just been kind of toying around with it. I know being closer to the sled isn't, necessarily a bad thing a lot of the times for control and stuff. So
Right. 100%.
I think I'll find myself coming back to like a 3 or a 4-inch riser, though. Honestly,
Gotcha.
just a little bit more comfortable standing up.
Sure.
Number 2, I got hooked up with a composite track this year. Composite reached out to me and got me a M77 3-inch track.
Nice.
And I would say that's a big upgrade. It's definitely I like to get the to get the sled a little sideways. I like to flip it around a little bit, and that rotating mass helps a ton. It seriously does. It's a big deal if you want to whip the track around, or if you want to do 180s and like half flips and all that.
Heck yeah.
But
and that's all stuff that you're probably doing when you Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's all stuff that you're probably doing when you were 10, huh? That's 180s and everything.
No. No. God, no. Dude, these things are heavy. You can't really get into that kind of crazy stuff until you're like 15, 16, 17. It's like as much as you want to. It's hard. I mean, it's almost impossible for the younger kids to even like start trying all that backcountry stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, the track, big deal that you guys got that snowpack down there. They chew super good into fucking, hard snowpack and whatnot.
Yeah.
Next up on the list for the sled, I got my Deviant Ink wrap. Shout out them. It's always looking fire.
Heck yeah. It's a clean looking sled, dude. It's a clean looking sled.
I appreciate it. No, I liked it. I tried to go with something less flashy. I had like some blue cheetah print last year. It's a little crazy, but I just tried to go less flashy. Super. It's like it's a matte. Super clean. But that's about it. I got the GGB can. I got the quiet can on my sled this year. I'm trying to keep it a little bit toned down for the sake of the filmers, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't like filming it super loud. And I don't like pulling skis, blowing my ears out. So
that mountain can, I had one on my previous sled, and after a while I got kind of tired of it because it was just so ear shattering after a while. So I definitely understand.
Dude, the quiet cans are great. They sound super good on the Polarises. Honestly, I hear Kester just pulling all his RPMs, the whole clip. It sounds great. Yeah,
100%. Cool. Was there any other?
For the most part, keep it bone stock. It's I got the Rogue Concepts bumper. It just came in. I'm getting that on here.
Nice.
Stoked to have that, especially with the crews I roll around with. It gets a little hectic coming down the trail sometimes.
Sure.
We'll keep her in. Yeah, we'll keep her protected with the Rogue Concepts.
Got it. Yeah.
Big deal. I got a couple local guys here. The Mad Hatter, Bow Gloves. They're out of Idaho over there or something. They hooked me up with a bunch of stuff like Atlas neck braces and Mobius knee braces, stuff like that. So big shout out to them and whatnot.
Nice.
That's about it for the sponsors. We got 509. I've been trying to work a new deal out with them, but we got, again, it's a lot of late gear and stuff that everyone's trying to work through. And
right.
But
100%.
Yeah, everyone knows how that's going. So.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, but it is what it is.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, that's a pretty decent list. That's pretty cool as far as mods that you have on your sled and sponsors too. I mean, that's pretty cool. How long have you had some of those sponsors? Are they all kind of newer, or been rocking with some of them for a while, or?
A lot of them are newer here. I had a really good late season, last year, pushing out all that rev content, all the short track stuff. So I picked up a lot late season, and then I've had Deviant for 2 years, Cheetahs 2 years, Rogue is new. Composites new. I really like to keep them on. Honestly,
Heck
I
yeah.
like the track sponsors. I think that's a really good deal there, and the bumpers
Heck
too.
yeah.
Hopefully, they come out with some front bumpers.
Oh yeah.
I like to hit those trees and whatnot.
Yeah. Inevitably, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think hitting those local sponsors, the guys that carry all that gear, is a big deal. And
Right.
yeah, I
Convenience
like
because it's right there.
Yeah.
You can just run into the
Yeah,
store
and
and get stuff if you need.
they'll take care of you too. You rip a suit or something, like, they sewed up my suit and all that. So it's like it's just good. Yeah, good service, good quality. Always
Absolutely.
hit local.
Heck yeah, 100%. Big local supporters for sure. Cool. So let's talk a little bit about so I just recently started following you, obviously, as you could tell probably from the notification last night. I have seen you tagged in a couple of other people's clips and stuff. There's a couple other Alaska boys up there that I think you've ridden with. I don't know, like I can't think of their names right now, but like AK Full Throttle.
Wyatt, we got Wyatt, we got AK Sled Junkie. That's Jeff Dennis.
Okay. Do you ride with all those
my
boys?
buddy
Or?
Warren. Oh yeah, we're tight knit up here. Honestly, it's a lot smaller sled community up here than everyone would think.
Sure.
Like that was honestly surprising to me how small and word gets around real quick, about everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you brought up a good topic, and you actually mentioned that in one of the questions that you had sent to me in the DM was talking about the Alaska sled game, why it died and how it's coming back. So let's go ahead and dive a little bit into that, because obviously being down here in Oregon, I don't really know a whole lot about that. So I guess kind of take us through, what that kind of means that the sled game died and how it's coming back. Let's see what that's all about.
So growing up, I was inspired by films like The Turn Again Hardcore and Sled Next, all the OG stuff there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we had locals, pushing it, and we had, guys that worked here, lived here year round, that filmed here, had families here. Sure. And they're pushing the game and making films, and progressing the game, doing different stuff, and like different tricks, or I guess more progressive stuff. Like it kind of just fell off. I've been watching. I still watch the same sled videos.
Sure.
But
oh yeah.
And then we kind of, there's been this upward kind of the last 5 years. We started, a lot of guys are coming back out, and there's drone footage happening. There's new angles of different jumps, and there's new kinds of footage and great riders. My buddy Warren, I wanted to talk about this 907 Films. We've kind of got it, going on up here.
Sure.
It's like it's an Alaska-based film. A bunch of us guys here that we ride and we work here and we bust ass and we rip sleds.
Heck
and
yeah!
So, it's what we do. We're
Perfect.
trying.
So
We're trying to
you're
make
a part of that company?
some videos and stuff. Yeah, for sure,
Nice.
for sure. I'm one of
Awesome.
the athletes, or whatever. But we're super we're super close, all of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about it. We ride together all the time, and it's hard to we're still young, we're not professional athletes yet. I mean, we're getting there, but
on your way.
Yeah. And it's like, can you ever start too early, start documenting and start videoing and start trying, can you? Not really, so we're just doing our
100%.
best, and this is just the beginning. It might have like 500 subs or 1,000 subs. Warren he does a good job with it. I mean, we'll get somewhere eventually, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of just the beginning, maybe, and where we're going with it. And he's got some big sponsorships going with 2B Outerwear. If you guys heard of them, they're great.
Oh yeah,
they got great stuff, and
yeah.
So we're starting to get out there, and we're pushing our content from our our local guys at these Alaska spots. I mean, shout out all the dudes in Montana and Canada that just slay it every year and have been every year, seriously, just, I mean, Turcotte's never let up, I mean, by all means, going for the front flip last year and the Superman backflip, that stuff was unreal.
Yeah, craziness. So, he's fun to watch for sure.
And then, the technical riding and stuff that they're doing, Caleb and Kyle's just like, that stuff's never been done. Who would have thought that we were doing that kind of stuff? So
yeah, for sure.
And then so we're gonna try to bring what we got going on. We want to bring what we got going on to the scene, essentially.
A little Alaska flavor, baby.
Yeah,
into
exactly.
The sled game. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know about, we'll see what happens with the 907 films and all that. We'll see how serious that gets. Hopefully we get a real film team and all that. But yeah, for now we're just dudes trying to learn how to ride hard and good and consistently. Biggest deal.
Yeah.
Get on trips is a big deal.
Getting on
long term.
Yeah, Jeff just piped in there. He wants to kind of know your vision for long term. Like, what are you guys, aiming towards with 907 films specifically?
So, I mean, I have all sorts of ideas. Like, we got big fairs and stuff. The state fair. We got like the 4th of July. We got like these huge influxes of people that I think could relate to this badass stuff. So like we would open booths and we would show our films. On big screen TVs. We'd sell films. We sell, I mean, maybe crude, some crude like merch and stuff, some cool Alaska shit, like some, 100%. Dig or go home, some like, just some cool stuff, like just all sorts of
cool
stuff. And then of course, like getting rolling the YouTube channel and all that. And, but I think that's gonna have to come with producing, good content and consistent content. I always tell myself, like, you shouldn't expect anything until you got at least 100 videos up, It's like, just how it is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the consistency thing is a huge factor. We're releasing these episodes every single week. Kind of made the commitment that we're going to release these episodes every single Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And, obviously that's rewarded per the algorithm, right? To be, whether it's YouTube or whatever it is, to be consistent with stuff. And I'm sure you've probably seen Muskoka Freerider Films down there in BC.
Killing it,
I mean,
dude.
that's, last season he went, I don't know, 75, 80 days straight, right? Well, he's getting tons of views and ton of subscribers, and I won't talk about it on the screen here, but you can do a little Google searching and see how much money you make per videos off of ad spend from YouTube, and then kind of look at what he's doing and kind of get a guesstimate of how much money he's making per month just off of YouTube alone, right? And that doesn't include Instagram Reels, TikTok, all the creator funds and whatnot. So, I mean, there's definitely a ton of potential there, and that's
I love
same kind of
going on. Yeah, he's betting on himself too. Spend that wad on new sleds. Yeah, let's make even better content. He's doing great. It's awesome.
100%. And so something similar with you guys are doing the 907 and the importance of the content and stuff. I mean, that's why so Jeff. I know you just recently got exposed to the SledSend stuff, but Jeff is my business partner. We do a bunch of other stuff, real estate and whatnot, that doesn't necessarily have to do with the SledSend stuff. But he's the guy behind the camera and all of it, and produces top quality stuff. And that's helps with everything that we're doing within the sled industry too. So, and it's becoming so much more of a thing right now. It seems like everybody's riding and everybody has a camera in their tunnel bag, because that's the biggest thing. Like with these social platforms and whatnot, it's so easy to put stuff out there and get awareness all across the world of all these things that we're doing, right? So you have guys like yourself that are just jumping off gnarly stuff to be able to record that and put that out there for everybody to see. I mean, that captures attention, you know what I mean? And so it can only go up from here as you guys are continuing to progress and continue, filming and maintaining the consistency across it. I'm excited to, now that I'm really tuned in, and you are definitely on my radar now, to definitely, watch you progress and see where 907 goes and the rest of your riding buddies. So I'm super excited. And, I think it's cool to, to kind of create a business within the sledding industry. So, props to you for doing that, man. It's really exciting to watch.
Yeah, and big shout out to Warren. He's putting in the groundwork, starting this thing, and I would go check him out. He's always, he's working a lot. Everyone's working a lot,
Sure.
When you're young, you got to, but
what's his Instagram? Together. What's Warren's Instagram?
Shoot, I don't even know if I want to pull off my phone real quick.
Oh, it's all right. We can just,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I would just do 907 Films. You're gonna see him on there. Yeah, you're gonna see our buddies on there.
There you go. Is it,
And we got young. We're trying to push on a lot of like. We're trying to put on younger cats that want to get into it, because there's no like that doesn't make you any less strong having a bunch of younger guys that can send it too. It's just going to help progress everybody, So
oh, absolutely.
Try to build the sport up from the ground up here.
Right. Yeah. Getting the younger guys involved in it. I mean, it's just going to, by the time they're 30, it's going to be crazy to see where the sledding industry is. So the sooner we can get everybody involved and stuff like that, it's going to be super beneficial for sure. So Nick, let's kind of go into, I guess, do you want to touch a little bit more on some of the big and up and coming young riders specifically? You had mentioned that in the DM. Do you want to tap into a little bit more of a couple of guys that you can think of that are on your radar?
I kind of hit on it there. A couple of guys over there in Canada, Curtis Gage, Andy Mesner. Andy's a little bit older, but he's ripping. He's sending flips now. But it seems like everybody's doing that. Everyone, I mean, all sorts of guys are popping up now. It's like, you want to get established, you better start, flipping them and whatnot.
Yeah. Huh?
And the sleds are so capable. The sleds are so capable. It's like, and it's feasible stuff now.
Heck yeah. Let's actually take it a little bit of a different direction. You're talking about flipping it and everything and sending it off the jumps and whatnot. So let's talk about you specifically, right? Like, at what point did you take me through some of the first couple of trial and errors of, some of the first times that you started sending it big off some jumps and some of the things that were going through your head. And then we'll kind of talk about piece by piece to how you've gotten to where you're at now, as far as comfortability and looking at jumps differently and stuff. So when was it that you really kind of started sending it off jumps and trying things?
I got my Gen 4 850 2 years ago. I would say that's really when it kind of started happening. It was, it's a 165. So maybe not like the ideal sled to be jumping or flipping or whipping necessarily, but definitely capable. It's definitely capable. And I would see guys like Andreas Bergmark, I saw him take a 165 and do some serious business in Canada. So it's like, what's the excuse? Start whipping it and stuff. And so I started getting the flips don't come you can slowly kind of work into these whips, you can start kind of getting it on its side panel, and that's a big deal. Just, slowly work into stuff and work in that comfortability. So you're not overthinking, you're not trying to, do too much. Yeah. But, I mean, you can only think of so many things, when you're going off the jump, I just think of one or two, just stuff that I want to correct or get better on, stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's good. I think
just work into it. Big deal. Getting miles down. If you're not already like a capable, I'm a technical ride. I love the technical ride, the stuff that Caleb Kester gets into and Kyle gets into, all the technical stuff, the stuff Barant started innovating, just steeper, all the nasty shit. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. So it's I have sled control. For sure. So it's just a matter of learning that kind of sled control, air control and all that. So, I mean, that's a huge deal. That helped me a ton. Really start, advancing my sled game personally.
Sure. Well, you bring up a good point.
I said, I mean, I was probably jumping the 380 when I was 12 a little bit, honestly, into the yard off the snowbank. I had some advantage here.
Sure. 100%. Well, and you brought up a good point too of, focusing on one or two things, but you're focusing on the positive aspects of it, right? Like trying to focus on the progression or the positive things that you can work on versus, I said this in a previous episode with Jaden Ballard, Cooler Freshies out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I don't know if you're aware of him or not, but
shout out Jaden.
He's a good dude for sure. I had said something to him about, what you focus on becomes fact, right? And so if you are going into a jump and you're focused on, oh no, what if I do this wrong and this gets messed up or I screw up the sled or something? Well, if you're focusing on that, that's what's going to happen, right? So I just wanted to highlight that right there for everybody that's listening and for people that are interested in learning how to jump and start doing some whips and start their progression in that in that sense, I think it's important to highlight what you just said about focusing on the positive aspects of what you need to be working on, one or two things at a time, and just run the reps and get better piece by piece, and then learn from any mistakes that you're making. So I think I just wanted to touch on that. I think that was a valuable point that you just mentioned.
100%. Oh yeah, 100% for sure. And quality of reps, is a big deal.
Yep.
You don't want to just kind of, you don't want to be mindlessly going through that stuff. You want to really be focusing on what you're doing if you want to progress and do that the technical tricks or the whips or the jumps, like, feeling what that, trying to think what that feels like and how can I manipulate that to get what I want, watching those guys that are great and trying to, imitate that or whatever, it's
sure. 100%. So Nick, let me ask you, do you have a specific trick that you've never done before that you kind of have your eyes set on this season that you're trying to run some reps on or trying to attempt? Or
I had a couple ideas. I really I think because I am I set my bar maybe a little too high. Sometimes I try to grab tricks that I'm not ready for.
Sure.
So I really wanted to focus on just shoring up my backflip, getting some down on the long track. And then maybe this late season, I would end up, comboing one, taking a hand off or taking a foot off or something, or no-handed landing or something,
Heck yeah.
Maybe push the envelope a little bit, but really shore up my skills just because, those, backflips and stuff, I feel like you want to be consistent once you're taking them to, real landings. Just because, as far as the sport goes, you want to progress in it, you got to stay healthy.
100%. Yeah, because if you get hurt, then you're out, then that's just no good at all.
Yeah, you don't get any reps. Yeah, when you're laid up. Yeah,
100%.
Seriously.
Okay. Well, cool.
And I'm a big film study guy. I'm a huge film study guy. You got to watch great riders if you want to be great, I think.
It's just like what I don't really mess with too many other sports, but it's just similar to any of the NFL players that are watching game tape, right? Same kind of concept.
Exactly.
Sure. Gotcha.
And same day, I study my own film same day usually. I try to go bust it down for like an hour or two. And then that way it's fresh. You know what that felt like. You know how you can change that. I think that's a huge deal. And then, and then watch a guy like Andreas or Caleb or anything, and they do that trick textbook, and then think how that could feel. How can you feel that? How can you throw the underflip like Cody McNulty is doing, or, all that, just, exactly.
For sure. So, this kind of leads really good into one of the other questions that you had mentioned here. So why backcountry riding and filming is so difficult and adverse. So speaking, you just came off of watching some film tape of you or other riders. Let's go a little bit into, why that's so difficult and adverse to be able to, from your standpoint, being able to film and capture filming in the backcountry.
Yeah. So, one, I feel like we're just kind of a rare breed as it is, guys that are chasing deep snow on good days, like you said, it's few and far in between those perfect days. So we're already a rare breed there. And then you want to combine that with getting top notch film and production. It's forget about it.
I got Jeff over here nodding because he knows. Yeah, he knows all about that.
Most of the guys are there's no way. We're not even waiting around. We see good stuff. You want to see all the best stuff. You got to be here just rolling. It's just how can you stop when on those great days and set up and film and tell everyone don't tear this zone up. We got to get a shot.
Yeah, everybody stop, wait, hold on. Let me get the camera out. Let me get set up. Yeah. It's always an interesting thing to do that, because obviously I've taken Jeff out and we've ridden with a group of 3 or 4, 5, 6 guys, and that most of them are all about your age, and we pull up onto a spot and it is difficult to get people to, all right, hold on 1 second. I know the snow's epic. We all see that sick ass line. Just hold on 1 second. Let Jeff, get his gear out, all that kind of stuff. And it's difficult to do that for sure. Because there's just such an adrenaline rush, 100%. So do you yourself actually do any filming?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
For sure,
Okay.
for sure. And I've been growing a page a little bit. Just I film my buddies. I like to give them shout outs on it and all that. I like
Sure.
to just kind of support their stuff. And I'm blessed to have I got a great little crew here, out of Seward, all my buddies, and we go rip it. And since I've been more serious, they're, guys are more willing to just grab the camera because they're just like, okay, he's gonna do something sick real quick, like
Sure,
it's gonna be cool for sure. Like you're gonna want to pull up and see this real quick.
Yeah, totally.
So it's just gotten better, and it's just like our crew has gotten more dialed. I spent a big wad on a camera, a nice Panasonic.
Okay, that was my next question.
Is lenses and stuff.
What is your talk a little bit about your whole setup? That was my next question there, as far as from a gear, camera standpoint.
For sure. So I was going to school in Colorado for film production and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And
okay.
I was talking to some guys that film action sports in like BC and backcountry Colorado. So they work with like low light issues, and like, big pillow lines, like, all the stuff, snow falling. And it's like, so he got me set up with a Panasonic GH5, and it's, it's a mirrorless line. The Sonys are great too. It's just top of the line. That's not going to break your bank. And then a couple lenses that are going to do like mid to long range, some close stuff for in the trees a little bit, just some like good all around deals. Again, not to break the bank because the full setup ran about $4,000.
Yeah.
And it's
not
a
cheap.
game changer. It's the difference though. Seriously, it is definitely the difference.
Totally.
I think personally.
Yeah. So what do you?
The perspective. The perspective you get with 3/4 or full frame lenses and everything is just madness.
Yeah, for sure. What's your storage setup? Like how are you storing all that gear on your sled, or you don't have it in your backpack or anything on your back, do you?
Yeah, it's actually and that's why the guy got me set up with what's going to be pretty lightweight setup, and they shoot on the fly. I don't have a tripod or anything. It's it's got body stabilization, and then I've got lens stabilization. So everything's just offhand shooting pretty much.
Gotcha.
And it's crisp. It's good. Yeah. It shoots 420 frames per second, 4K. So, it's
nice.
It's a gnarly video camera. It's geared for videoing. They actually just dropped a GH6. So, hopefully I'll be upgrading here soon,
Are you aware of what that is, Jeff? Jeff's the camera nerd, not so much me. So some of the stuff that you're saying was mainly for any of the other listeners, not so much me, because it just like flew over top of my head. Jeff's laughing at me because he knows that about me, and I'm just sitting here like, oh, that's cool, because I just don't, I haven't taken the time to really, study and pay more attention to the camera stuff, and I need to, as all this other stuff is progressing. But did you want to say something about that setup, Jeff?
That's really good for running gun shit like they're doing.
Yeah, running and gunning.
Yeah, the mirrorless.
Like exactly, you just pull up, you run and gun.
Yeah.
We shot with the R5, Canon R5 last weekend, and I think that's what I'll get next.
Yeah.
We rented that and it was solid.
Yeah, did you hear that?
Nice.
The Canon R5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we actually had the first SledSend retreat. So I take people that have never been on a sled before, and I teach them how to ride sleds. So we had 4 clients that came up from Texas, and then 1 other client that came up from Phoenix, Arizona. So we took all 5 of them. Yeah, we took all 5 of them out riding and stuff, and just for like a 2-day thing. And it was pretty epic. Day 1, they were all done by 2:30 in the afternoon. We were on our way back to the lodge. Because they're coming from damn near sea level, right? And then we were riding at about 6,000 feet, and they were just all dead. But anyways, we were filming with the Canon R5, and that'll be the next camera I think that we're going to get specifically for sled stuff.
Dude, they're just great investments, if you're really looking to get those shots and that film, and when you have those conditions, it's like you want to have that. So you don't want an iPhone. When you got sun and you got snow. Yeah.
Well, and you're seeing this too with everything that you're doing in 907 films and whatnot. Like, it's just important to have good stuff, and it's not like we're gonna stop, or it's not like it's going away. So it's important to make that investment into this and see how far we can push all of this, and how far we can go, and how big we can get our names out there, and all of the above. You know what I mean? So,
Another way to stand out too.
Yeah.
Everyone can record with an iPhone.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
absolutely.
heard that, but yeah, it's a way for everybody to stand out.
Yeah, and you see those pros that are rolling in the backcountry. They were all geared out with nice mirrorless setups. I mean, everyone was geared out,
Yeah.
and it's how can you beat two guys that can go anywhere? With great cameras. Be it me and Warren, or Kyle and Caleb, or Caleb and his brother, or me
Isaac,
and my
yeah.
brother. It's just like that's the idea. Yeah, exactly. That's the idea. Is just like that's the ultimate weapon. When
Yep.
you can get that full frame camera, exactly where you want it for that, jump or hit or
Yeah.
whip or side hill. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's what Jeff and I are doing. So obviously Jeff is a video guy first and then a sledder. But he's been going pretty hard this year and progressing his riding skill set. And so that's, something that's big for the two of us, because obviously I've had way more reps on a sled than he has, so I can get into a lot gnarlier shit than he has, but he's definitely working his way towards that so that we can get into, crazier terrain together and get captured, clips and content of getting into those areas. So it's super important to, not only be a badass videographer, but to be able to ride good too, you know what I mean? So
From point A to
Oh yeah.
yeah, getting from point A to point B without getting too stuck.
Yeah, I mean,
100%,
here a
so-
lot of the zones that are untouched and that we get to build on and stuff. You got to ride. You got to be able to ride to get there a lot of the times, especially during the powder season. In this early season, it's gnarly. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
you gotta be able to shred.
Yeah. Yeah, so kind of changing the topic a little bit again here, something that we were kind of talking about before I pressed record. I had mentioned one of the previous Sled Talk questions of the day. We're talking about gear setup as far as like specifically what you wear under your mono suit or whatever. And we had some guests on here that, are pretty big advocates for wearing blue jeans and belt buckles and stuff. And, you had mentioned some things about your kind of setup. So let's talk specifically about from, head to toe, what do you wear and why do you wear it?
So one, I spent many years wearing just like trash, just like I would just pull up at Costco, and grab me some snow pants, grab a
Sure.
coat for the year,
Yeah.
some like $19.99 boots, all the gear.
Yeah.
And
whatever it takes.
I started, yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
why? You just spent 20 grand on a sled, so
Right. Exactly.
But so I started getting into some waterproof stuff, and I think that's the move. Seriously, I mean, if you want to ride for 6-8 hours, I got any waterproof gear, bibs and coat, or a mono suit. It's a no brainer. And you got a lot of good industry leaders pushing that stuff now. So.
Absolutely.
And then under the suit, I like to be mobile. I like to be able to. I feel like I'm swimming, kind of. I don't want anything hanging up. I want to be able to move my legs and be flexible. And I don't want. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm not a jean and belt buckle guy, really. I got sweats usually, and like a good fit T-shirt, like a good underlayer from 509 usually, like a long sleeve. That way I don't have to, wear a bunch of sweatshirts or bulk it up and wear a bunch of neck gaiters or anything. I can just wear one, and like I wear a good underlayer or two, and then, I'm warm. I'm not overheating. I'm not losing any of my mobility in the trees or any of the technical stuff. I'm freed up,
Sure. Which is so
big
important.
deal.
I mean,
And then, yeah.
based off of your riding style and some of the things that you're doing and the jumps that you're hitting and the technical stuff that you're getting into, like there's just no way that you can be constricted and pull some of that stuff off, in my opinion.
Yeah, you want to be able to fly over the seat. You want your legs flying back and forth just fine, like freed up. Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
I like light boots. I want big clunky boots. I like a light set of boots. The Velo Raids or a nice set of snowboard boots. If you're budgeting. It's a no-brainer. Sure. They're light, they're built, just find set with a decent set of soles.
Heck yeah, do the deed for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
Cool. So
heated goggles. If you guys want a game changer for the setup, get the heated goggles. I'll never go back. I got 3 battery packs. Keep them torching all day long. The
509 heated goggles.
No-brainer. I have the Ignites, obviously, I'm working with them, but I would get heated lenses if possible, for sure.
Okay, so you've had pretty
especially
good.
if you're working like I am.
Yeah. You've had pretty good results with those because I've heard mixed, I've talked to several people that have those and either people absolutely love them or people absolutely hate them and have serious issues with them. But you've had good
Like
results.
with the lens like not heating or just breaking.
Yeah, and fogging up really
like
terrible.
Like,
And yeah.
weird. Yeah. No, I mean, I do like, I feel like, running stuff and using it 24/7 helps a lot, it never,
sure.
you never break that condensation or anything. So like, I just tend to just run mine as soon as I pull them out of the truck, they get put on, they get run. And I hammer, I mean, I've torn stuff up, I tear stuff up a lot, but it's hard for me to blame any of my gear or my, how can I blame, I ripped a suit before, coming down on a backflip on my handlebars, like, I mean, what am I going to say?
Yeah, that's not the company's fault on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Certainly not.
Or I'm going to break my sled. I'm going to break a side panel. It's like, what the thing came down from 40 feet, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Heck
So,
yeah.
I mean, there is some stuff
Absolutely.
I break, but it's like, it's hard for me to distinguish because I put my stuff through hell. I do.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. Is there about this time, Jeff, what time are we on? Runner-wise?
We're at like 45 minutes.
45 minutes?
Well,
Okay.
Actually, we're probably at like 48.
48? Okay. Right on. Usually at about this time, Nick, we kind of open it up to either the guest, you, or Jeff. Jeff, do you have any specific questions or topics that you would like Nick to answer or touch on?
I would ask him like if he wants to ride sleds full time for a career. Is that his goal, or where's he trying to go with it?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that, Nick, but I'll repeat it just for any of the listeners that maybe didn't catch it. Is kind of like what is your goal progressing moving forward within snowmobiling? Are you trying to do it full time professionally, or just continue to push the envelope and having fun and locking arms with sponsors, or what's kind of your overall goal for it?
I'd like to say there's like this clear cut goal, like, X Games or, something like that. Or, I mean, obviously a factory sponsorship or something, but really I like to ride for myself. I like to just, I like to put my character into my game and bring it to the table, try to push the envelope just for, we were talking about it, me and some buddies, do all the good, the really progressive and elite backcountry riders, watch each other and inspire off each other and then try to one up each other all season long. Is that a thing? So I just try to put my flair on stuff, put my music on stuff and just show everybody who I am, who Nick is, So
Heck yeah. I love that. I think that's the best way to go about it.
And hopefully I would love to compete in some like some Rocky Mountain hill climb racing. I would love to, just play my hand at some of those stuff and gain.
Sure.
Because the more, you try stuff, like I always thought, oh man, I could smoke everybody at racing or whatever. It's like Snow X, like, oh, that's nothing or whatever. No, that's that stuff's real stuff, dude. Like, you gain a whole lot of respect and it's cool.
Sure.
Like you want to go ramp. I started ramping sleds a little bit and working on grabs and stuff. And it's like, you gain so much respect for those guys that are, elite trick, guys. Guys that we looked up to, whether it's Brett Turcotte or Corey Davis or, just local guys or guys from BC. It's like, I'd love to go do some of those and kind of expand my game and meet a lot of the guys from the industry and kind of maybe develop my path like that, kind of more organically, not just like the pipe dream or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I love
that. Who knows, maybe I'll end up wanting to work with, whether it's a company, like an industry leading, like, gear or like, factory, who knows? Yeah.
Sure.
Like, trying to keep it open or 907 films, who knows with that, like maybe that'll take off and we'll just go all in or,
Heck yeah.
Here we are at ground level. That's why I was so stoked to do this. I was like, let's just like get it out there, something out there I'll look back on and be like, man, that kid was nuts.
Heck yeah. 100%, dude. No, that's super sick. I love your mindset around it. And I think that's the correct one to have. I think that's super dope. Cool. Thank you for sharing that. Jeff, was there any? No? Cool. Nick, was there anything other specific that you wanted to touch on or bring awareness around while you're on here?
I don't know. Just
We covered quite a bit.
yeah, just you can never start too soon, to start chasing your dreams. I mean, you see a lot of these guys are older that do the backcountry filming because it's so hard and adverse. I mean, they're 35, 40 years old sometimes when they're getting into it. So yeah, just get after it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do it for yourself. Yeah. If you want to chase it, chase it.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think it's been a great conversation with you the last 50 minutes or so. I can't thank you enough for, jumping on here. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, Nick, with the sled talk question of the day. So everybody that's tuning in, we typically cut this little piece, but if you're on YouTube watching this, you can comment your answers below, and then we cut this little piece and put it on TikTok and Instagram and stuff. So definitely comment your answers below. So Nick, what is a question that you would like feedback from all of our listeners and viewers and their answers? What's something that you want to ask them?
Oh man, probably the finger throttle. This one always tickles everyone a little bit. I ran the finger throttle. I've done aggressive riding with both. I can switch back and forth. I like them both. Okay. But I would say hands down, the finger throttle. If you want better grip, if you want to be shirt up, and not have a little out of control throttle, blip here and there, the finger throttle is the move. Gotcha. I think it's the move for sure. And I just tell everyone, because a lot of guys in Alaska, everyone has strong opinions, and everyone's just like, oh yeah, they tell whatever, yeah. Exactly. A lot of the guys in the sled game has a lot of strong opinions. So totally, I just tell them do a pull up without your finger, and then try to do a pull up without your thumb, and see how your grip strength feels. And it's just like,
that's a really good point. That's a very interesting thought.
Or if you're off the sled, if you're wherever you're at, you got more strength, period, on the bar.
Heck yeah.
And being a bike guy, I'm on the brake, the front and the rear brake, on the pedal bike, the downhill bike and stuff. So it's like, it's no brainer.
That just makes sense.
It's just that's natural. Yeah. Oh, for sure. It just makes sense.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I mean,
and
obviously,
we got the 907 Films finger throttle hopefully coming out with
got a guy doing
some 3D printing and stuff. So maybe have a little
look at that.
Affordable option coming out here soon. A little sneak peek
shameless
for you
plug.
Guys.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's sick. Well, let's
I'm
definitely
doing some testing.
There you go. Well, let's definitely stay in touch back and forth with that, because if you guys come out with that, I am more than willing to try it out. Because this, obviously I've been aware of the finger throttle thing for a while, but it keeps coming up. People keep, alluding to that and asking that question and whatnot. And so now, especially after how you just explained it, now you've really piqued my interest into, maybe giving it a shot and trying it out. So let's definitely stay in touch with that.
By all means, not that anything's not possible with both, but it's like, in my experience, I've done aggressive riding with both, and I prefer the finger throttle.
Well, until you try, you're never going to know, right? So there's no reason why you should talk shit on one or the other if you've never even tried it. You know what I mean? So
how can you?
Exactly. 100%. Well, cool. Yeah. So for all of you listeners and viewers, definitely, hit the comment section and give us your thoughts and feelings, what you guys prefer, thumb or finger throttle, and why. Heck yeah. Again, Nick, we're going to go ahead. I'll reach out to you after this in a message and get links to all of your profiles and whatnot. So we'll be able to put that in the description. All of you listening and watching, please give Nick a follow. Dude is a ripper and sends it off some pretty gnarly stuff. So, definitely going to want
stuff coming out.
Heck yeah. So definitely want to give Nick a follow. And for all of you guys, listening on the podcast platforms, please leave a review. That's going to help us a ton. If you're watching this on YouTube, smash the like button and subscribe and turn on the notification, because we are, like I said earlier, we're releasing these every single Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So definitely stay tuned. And again, ending this out, Nick, I appreciate you a ton for, taking the time to jump on here and sharing your story and your passion for snowmobiling. So again, I appreciate it. And Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will talk to you guys soon.
100K on the Protect, Philippe. Living life with no regrets. I can't designer when I get dressed. Summertime on winter fresh. I put her legs behind her head. Night, she gone to bed. Bye-bye. Every day it's a new test. I just keep chasing these chicks. Living life with no